Hi guys, welcome back to Gaby's Kitchen. Today I have a super special recipe to share with you with the help of my friends at Le Parfait, these amazing jars. I am going to be showing you my grandma's recipe for berenjenas and escabeche, that is pickled eggplants. So please stay tuned and watch the recipe. Thank you. Alright, for this recipe you are going to need some bay leaves, some garlic, red pepper flakes, dry oregano, dry thyme, black peppercorns, salt, olive oil, white distilled vinegar, and water. Alright, so I'm gonna use this eggplant today to show you this recipe. Obviously, I got a bunch of different varieties. They are amazing. Good tip to know when an eggplant is good, just look for like firm, shiny color, no bruises, green tips, you know. So the one thing I did is I just cut the ends and I'm gonna go ahead and peel it. Definitely you can do this recipe with the skin on if that's your, liking, and if you don't want to peel it. It will sometimes the skin give it a little bit of darker color to the brine. So I prefer not to have that color, so I'm going to peel them. Alright, how to cut it? There are many choices. You can cut it in the long, you can cut it in slices. I like to cut it in slices this time because I'm gonna be using this jar and I feel like it has like sort of the same shape. Alright, so this part is very important. You've probably seen it before. If you are make eggplant and escabeche, you probably know what I'm talking about. We are going to salt the eggplants. The salt is going to do, it's gonna make the eggplant release all that juice and it's gonna kind of start helping with the cooking process. It's gonna make it a little softer. The way you do that, you can do this in a sheet tray with a rag or in a colander. I put a colander and you put a bowl under. I put this towel so it doesn't move. We're going to start laying the eggplants in the bottom of the colander. And we're going to sprinkle them with a good amount of kosher salt. And we're going to continue doing this layer by layer. And let it rest on your counter for like around an hour, at least 1 hour, no less. You'll see it's gonna collect a lot of water in here. All right, 1 hour already passed and you can see all the water that came out of these eggplants. And we're gonna rinse them to take off the excess of the salt and then we're ready to cook them. So we're gonna cook the eggplants in the water with mixed with the vinegar. Don't worry, I will give you the amounts. And to give it a little bit of flavor, we're gonna add a couple of bay leaves, a couple pieces of garlic, and of course, a few peppercorns. And then we're gonna set it on, but you don't need to boil it for a long time. It has to be like a calm boiling. That's the way we're gonna cook them. All right, so this is like boiling slowly, like I mentioned before. You don't want this rapidly boiling. And we're gonna put the eggplants in there and we're gonna cook them for 7 to 10 minutes, no more than that. You don't want them to fall apart. Ready? This smells delicious, by the way. Let me get a bunch at the same time. Oh my God, that vinegar smells so good. All right, see you in 10 minutes. All right, so when they are ready, we're gonna take them off. You can put them in a tray or in a bowl, but you want them to cool off a little before you put them in the jar. That's it. Alright, so we are ready to assemble our eggplant in the jar. Make sure your jars are washed and clean. I love to use these ones. They have a double top so it gets sealed. But this is not the kind of recipe that we're gonna put and keep it in the pantry. For that, you need to boil the jars, and that's not this recipe. This one, after you finish assembling them, you're gonna put it in your refrigerator and keep it refrigerator for a couple of weeks. It gets better after a few days, but please, again, not on your counter or the pantry. For that, you have to do another whole process. So the way we're gonna start assembling it, it's with our eggplant that is already cooled off. So I'm using the tongs. Let me get a towel. I'm gonna get a few layers, pieces, no layers on the bottom. And then I'm gonna add some more flavor. What we have here was oregano, dry thyme, little bit of red pepper flakes. Again, red pepper flakes, you can put as much or as little as you want. Then I'm gonna put a little bit of garlic that I chopped already. Maybe a few more peppercorns. A little bit of olive oil. And then we're going for another layer. I'm gonna use the wooden spoon to move them gently because you don't wanna break them, but you wanna make sure that they are all covered with the olive oil and the flavoring that we are adding. There you go. One more layer. I like them to look pretty on the sides. And again, a little bit of oregano, a little bit of thyme, a few red pepper flakes. Oh, that was a lot. We'll put less on the next one. A little bit of garlic, some more olive oil, and on and on and on. So every time you add one layer, make sure that you use a gentle touch with a wooden spoon, and everything gets covered and it gets a little bit of all the flavor. This is looking amazing. So I'm gonna add one more layer of eggplant. And obviously this tastes better the next day or the next few days. And there is a funny story in my family. My grandma used to make them, and she swear that the week later, in a week, it was going to taste much better, but she tastes them every day. So by the time these were like perfect, we only have half a jar. So that was a funny little story about my abuela. All right, so thyme again, oregano. I put a lot of red pepper flakes in between, so I'm not gonna go crazy. More peppercorns, more garlic. We're gonna use it also. And one more layer of olive oil. If you don't wanna use only olive oil, you can use any other oil that you prefer. I love olive oil, so that's what I'm using it. But you can use, like sunflower oil or avocado oil, whatever you prefer. All right, we're getting to the top. All right, one more layer. First oregano, make it a mess. Then some thyme, little bit of red pepper flakes. And this is gonna taste better. Then you keep it in your fridge. You can use it in sandwiches. You can eat it with in a salad. You can eat it with meat. You can eat them with a spoon out of a jar. No, don't do that. And then the last but not least, there. And I'm gonna put one bay leaf. Let's see if I can squeeze it in there on the side. This one's got curled up. There. Maybe I put one more. Already has the bay leaf flavor from when they were in the pot. There you go. Yeah, that's how I like it. How pretty is that? Come on, it doesn't get better than this. All right, last time. Oregano. Where's my towel? Thyme. Garlic is done. Just a few more peppercorns, and we top it with olive oil. Always make sure that olive oil is covering. Also, when you are eating them, if you serve them and the olive oil starts going low, as long as the olive oil covers all the eggplants, you are safe to go. And then we're ready to put this in the fridge. Alright guys, so this is it. I want to thank my friends at Le Parfait for giving me these amazing jars. And I hope you replicate this at home. This was berenjenas and escabeche. Pickled eggplants. This was my grandma's recipe, so it's super special. Super simple with ingredients that you already probably have at home. So I see you all next time. Thank you.